Hammer Bros. They are the worst. I mean, first off, they're total bros.
Hey bro, you wanna grab a brewski and toss the old ball peen around? You know it, bro.
Woo! But even worse than that, they're the absolute nastiest, most cold-hearted killers in the Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, forget gooms and coops and cheeps and chomps and even this thing. Seriously, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Doesn't matter, because Hammer Bros have killed me more times than all of them combined. They've always given me a hard time, but I only recently began to wonder, why exactly? I sat down and really thought about it, and this is what I came up with. First, let's take a look at Mario and what he'd do. Mario jumps. He's good at it, he was born to do it, he was almost named Jumpman for Pete's sake. It's not just how he gets around though, but his main weapon against Bowser's baddies. Now let's look at a Goomba, which is the easiest and most common enemy for a reason. It moves left and right just to keep you on your toes, and Mario defeats it by jumping on its head, as he does with nearly every enemy. Due to the horizontal nature of the levels, and, gravity and all that, Mario is forced to jump in an arc. This is Mario at its core. This is the natural relationship between Mario and his enemies, between his abilities and their weaknesses. But now let's look at a Hammer Jerk. Like most baddies, he ties into this relationship. His primary weakness is his head, so the best way to kill him is to jump on him. But also like most baddies, he has unique attributes that change how you have to go about it. Most obviously, he throws hammers, but that's a lot more complex than it sounds because it's almost like a 2 or even 3-for-1 weapon. When you first go up against a Hammer Bro, you've got to close in without being hit by any of his hammers, which are traveling downward. Mario's biggest strength is his jump, so this move effectively locks him to the ground and forces him to handle the obstacle in a purely horizontal fashion. Since he can't just move in any direction instantly, speed and momentum come into play, making it extra tricky. Then, on top of that, the Hammer Bro will usually alternate randomly between throwing 1 hammer and 3 in rapid succession. Killing baddies is often about observing patterns and exploiting weaknesses in those patterns, but this randomness makes planning nearly impossible, putting a much heavier reliance on split-second reactions. As if that's not bad enough, once you get past that first line of defense, this dude has another. It's still the hammer, but now you've got to deal with it as it leaves the bro's hand, and here's where the deviousness really shines through. Unfortunately for us, the hammers leave from the bro's head area, making any jumps executed at that time lethal. Being invulnerable for that instant would be an interesting defense all by itself, even if this was just a spike popping out of his head or something. But oh, my dear viewers, the bloodlust of the Hammer Bro is never satisfied. When that hammer is hurled forward, it comes in an arc. Sound familiar? That's because the arc is the exact mode of transport that Mario uses to deliver his foot to his foes' heads. By throwing in an arc, the Hammer Bro controls the entirety of the space in front of him and works directly against every single one of Mario's strengths. At every point in its trajectory, the hammer offers a different challenge. And that's why the Hammer Bro is the most difficult Mario. Oh, but he's not done yet, folks. He's got another trick up his sleeve, and this one is both a blessing and a curse. As I said, any random element is going to push your strategy a little further away from memorization and toward pure reflexes. So giving the Hammer Bro a second random element is pure silliness. He jumps whenever he darn well pleases. If there's a platform above him, he'll jump up onto it, then eventually jump back down again ad infinitum. Or infinitum, or I don't know how to pronounce it. You never know when he's gonna leap like a freak, so even if you've gotten through his hammers, catching him at this time can be the death of you. No matter how well you think you're doing, aiming a shot while he's jumping can mess up the whole thing. Because it isn't bad enough for him to limit your abilities while taking him head on, he also has to compromise the one thing you still had against him, the pure verticality of Mario's attack. In addition to all the space in front of him, now the entire area is his domain, stretching from the ground to the top of his highest jumps and hammer throws. And you'll pretty much always find him with these platforms too. So now your jump is limited to the height of the blocks. Now if you're on top and he's on the bottom, he can hit you with his hammers and you can't do a single thing back. I can hear it now. My eloquent and rather poetic viewers are saying to their screens now, but Arlo, there is a silver lining to this dark, malevolent cloud. When Hammer Bros are on upper platforms, they can be defeated by hitting the block below them. And you're right. Like most baddies, this is a lesser used but equally effective method of disposal. That's why Hammer Bros love to invite their bros.
Woo!
As you can see, Hammer Bros are, by their very design, the most deadly enemies in the Mushroom Kingdom. They are crafted to work against Mario's nature in nearly every way. And when I think of it that way, I'm a tiny bit less embarrassed by how often they kill me. At least a tiny bit, this much. Yeah. Now, of course, this doesn't exactly apply as much to 3D games because you can come at them from different angles, though the arc thing is still an issue. Overall, though, when you're talking about 2D Marios, it don't get nastier than a Hammer Bro. So give the next one you see an extra good stomp for me, okay? I'll catch you later, everyone.
Ha 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 ha